Dragon's Breath is the DPS meta for the second dungeon boss in the new dungeon, Warlord's Ruin, and the reason why might actually surprise you, because initially when the season launched, no one was excited for Dragon's Breath. The reason why is because we DPS tested it, and it is just objectively worse than all other rockets in the game, but that was because we were looking at it as a burst DPS weapon, because that's how we use rockets currently when we try to melt bosses like Nezarec, the Ghost of the Deep boss, Samuma, really just any boss that we're trying to melt with a very short window of time. We use rockets because it's the best burst DPS weapon option. But for the second encounter of the new dungeon, it's not a burst DPS encounter, it's a sustained DPS encounter, which means that we're doing damage over a very long period of time. Every single fire pit that you stand on has a 15-second timer, so you're doing a 15-second damage phase, followed by another 15-second damage phase, and another, which adds up to about a minute of actual damage. But if you also include the travel time from one place to another, it can be up to about a minute and a half of time, which is why sustained DPS is the meta for this giant ogre, especially if you're trying to solo the dungeon. And when it comes to sustained DPS, Dragon's Breath is the meta option here. Shoot Dragon's Breath right in the ogre's face and just let it cook. Eventually it will reload itself, and it just does actually incredible sustained DPS to this boss. It's actually the best option. I was in the dungeon just the other day trying to solo it on my Warlock, and I just was doing way more damage than I was with a legendary rocket, so I can't recommend this enough. Definitely choose to use Dragon's Breath if you're trying to do sustained DPS, or if you're trying to take out this ogre in general. If you enjoyed this video, click on the screen here to watch another one from the channel. See you in the next one. And if you're feeling thirsty out there, make sure to use code LUCKY10P to save some money on G Fuel. Also, make sure you're following me on Twitch and Kick. I go live all the time playing Destiny 2. Lastly, make sure you're following me on X, Instagram, and TikTok, where I deliver Destiny 2 news to you daily. I appreciate all the followers out there.